It shouldn't be illegal to planeswalk from another plane, you bastards. Not my fault I decided to run away from a horde of zombies. Anyway, since I'm in Ravnica, I may as well talk about some of the history here. Before I do that though, please consider liking the video, sharing this video around, and subscribe for more. The Azorius Senate of Ravnica is the law aspect of Ravnica. They make the rules and sometimes enforce them. Basically, they're bureaucrats. It was founded originally by Azor I, a Sphinx and former Planeswalker. After he left, it was then run by everyone's favorite commander, Grand Arbiter Augustin IV. When he was killed by Zazdek, the guild leader responsibility shifted to Ispra, another Sphinx. Once she was taken out by Vraska before War of the Spark, it shifted to another Planeswalker, Dovin Bond. Because he was a giant dick, he was forced out of office, which is currently being held by Lavinia. Anyone who has ever played against Azorius colors knows they tend to be on the controlling side of things. That likely comes from the structure of the Senate. Basically, there are three different pillars that represent what Azorius stands for. You have the Sova pillar, which conducts the judgment of Ravnican criminals. Then you have the Jelen pillar, who write the different laws and rules for Ravnica. Finally, you have the Lave pillar, the cops and investigators for Azorius. As for the mechanics that are found in the different Ravnican sets of magic, they coincidentally make a kind of triangle of sorts. It'll make sense later, just bear with me for a bit. Forecast, the first of these mechanics, is easily the weakest of these abilities. It's an activated ability where you reveal a card from your hand with the mechanic, show it to the table, then you get an effect. You can only do this once on your upkeep. Oddly enough, though, there is a reason for this mechanic. The cards that they're typically attached to gain a benefit of some sort when you use this mechanic at the beginning of your turn. For example, Pride of the Clouds is a weak little 1/1, but it gets bigger for each other creature you control that flies. Forecasting it will give you a bird so you can build him up as the game goes on. Then you have a reusable reanimation spell in the form of Proclamation of Rebirth. But oh my god, these are insanely high mana cost for such weak effects. If you can do them multiple times a turn, honestly that could be understandable, but you only get to use them once per turn, and you have to usually pay a lot of mana to activate them. This is wildly inefficient and it makes this mechanic very forgettable and useless. The easiest 2 out of 10 ever made. Anyway, when we went back to Ravnica in 2012, Azorius definitely needed a new mechanic, and they got it in the form of Detain. They went from wildly weak to damn near broken in a single swing. See, when a creature is detained, they can't do anything. Literally, they can't block, attack, or even activate their own abilities, at least not until your next turn. Lavinia's first appearance as a card gave her a very powerful detain ability, making all non-land permanents under 4 mana detained until your next turn. And then we got Archon of the Tribavine, which detains 2 non-land permanents when it attacks. That includes artifacts, planeswalkers, enchantments, basically all non-land permanents. It was an insane mechanic, but it's severely weakened by the number of cards that have the mechanic. On top of that, most of the cards that can do this only target creatures, not non-land stuff. Though I suppose if they could regularly target non-land stuff, it would be broken as hell. It's a 9 out of 10, and I honestly wish it comes back again. Finally, to balance things out, we go from an insane mechanic to a okay mechanic. Ravnica Allegiance was Dovin's time to shine, so what did that artificer from Kaladesh give us? He gave us instants that should be cast at sorcery speed. That's right, it's Addendum. Addendum spells are just like regular instants, except you get bonus effects when you cast them during your main phase. Unbreakable Formation is a solid defense spell, but using it on your main phase makes your creatures bigger and gives them vigilance as well. Then you have a situation like Contractual Safeguard, when we're casting it on your main phase gives you another counter that you can give to all of your other creatures. Honestly, it's not the worst mechanic, and it can be pretty useful depending on the situation you find yourself in. Honestly though, I would love to see this mechanic more if we can get more variety on the benefits of casting spells on your turn over using them on other people's turn. For now, I'll just give this inoffensive mechanic a 7 out of 10. You know, a thought just dawned on me. The Immortal Sun isn't active right now, so I think I might be able to get myself out of here. Let's hope I don't end up somewhere worse.